Hi, I'm Ryan Scott Douglas, and this is the Cheltenham preview with talkSPORT and talkSPORT Bet. To help me look ahead to this year's festival, I'm joined by Mr. Cheltenham himself, Alan Brazil, horse racing journalist Emmett Kennedy, and our very own Cheltenham winner, talkSPORT's chief horse racing correspondent, Lizzie Kelly. Alan, let's start with you. Not long to go now.
I don't know if I'm excited, nervous or whatever. I just absolutely love it.
Lizzie, how do you deal with the pressure, excitement and nerves going into the festival?
When I was riding, obviously it was a huge pressure because the owners want the horses to do well, especially if you're riding favourites. And I think you can go and sort of think, oh, if I run a good race and I finish place, like that'd be great. But if you're going and you know you have to win, that's like another ball game entirely.
And Emmett, when you work in racing, Cheltenham really is the World Cup finals for journalists, right?
Oh, that's a great analogy. It's non-stop. It's incredibly busy. I love it. talkSPORT, talkSPORT 2, live all 4 days. Lee McKenzie and myself, Lizzie and Rupert. But it is kind of relentless. It's non-stop updates. You've got to keep on top of everything. But it is the best. And look, the World Cup is incredible. England might make the World Cup final. Ireland never make the World Cup final. But your horse can definitely make it to Cheltenham, and your horse has a chance of winning as well, as long as they don't blow out in a gallop like Constitution Hill the other day. But it's an incredibly exciting time.
Let's jump straight into the action with talkSPORT Bet. Head to talksportbet.com or download the talkSPORT Bet app for all of your Cheltenham needs. Right, Lizzie, day one is always one of, if not the strongest day of racing, and the Champion Hurdle is the feature race. We've got a hot favourite in this one, but there are major concerns over Constitution Hill, aren't there?
Yeah, so he did a sort of last piece of work at Kempton for Racecourse Gallop the other day in front of the racing media, and it literally couldn't have gone worse. It's put his participation in the Champion Hurdle completely up in the air. I think we're probably heading towards him actually not taking part in the race, given that he would have been probably the best racehorse of the week in terms of his ability and the fact that he basically couldn't get beaten. It's really opened up the Champion Hurdle in terms of, I think more people are going to declare their horses and let their horses run because they feel like they've got a better chance without Constitution Hill. So it's meant that there's a little bit more value in the race. Obviously, for me, I still really, really like State Man. I was actually slightly preferring him to Constitution Hill, or making a case for that in the lead up to the Champion Hurdle. He will surely win. I can't see him getting beaten by anything else in the field, State Man. The only horse that he's been beaten by in his hurdles career is Constitution Hill in the Champion Hurdle last year. And he's won 8 Grade 1s in his career. There are a few others in there that might be of interest, but they won't get past State Man.
Yeah, Emmett, tell us a bit more about State Man. He's off the back of a great win in Feb, right?
Yeah, he's been fantastic this season. You could argue he's better this season than he was last year. That's certainly the feeling amongst most racing pundits and most racing fans. It seems to be the Mullins camp feeling as well. I think it's hard to really argue with that, though, or to really strongly make that case, I should say. Like, he's basically won an egg and spoon race first time out. He should have won that. Then he's beaten Impere Pass, who really just didn't kick on in the way they thought. He's a solid 160 horse. He's not really the 170 horse they were hoping. He started the season as the big threat to Constitution Hill. Now he's not even good enough to run at Cheltenham this season, so we'll see him over fences next year. Irish Champion Hurdler was very good. He beat Bob Ollinger impressively. Bob Ollinger is better over 2 mile 4. So is he really improved this year, or is he still just the really rock-solid horse that he's always been? If Constitution Hill turns up, he laps them. Like, he won this race by 9.5 lengths last year, eased down. Nico de Boinville was apologising to the distance backers in the winners' enclosure. So it's a 10-length gap State Man has to make up. I don't think he will turn up. State Man's very hard to get past in that sense. The market is telling you that. I think Irish Point's probably going to end up here for Gordon Elliott. Don't really think he wants to run him in the stairs. He's a big fan of both Sarda Burley, and the horse I think will win that, Tihupu. So Irish Point on soft ground would be a solid each-way bet, I think.
OK, Alan, if you're Willie Mullins, are you running Glossymouth in the Champion Hurdle or not?
It must be, he's got to consider it, to be honest. But State Man, I was very impressed with State Man last time out. And Willie himself said he's muscled up, he's stronger, he's a better horse this year. So they were going to take Constitution Hill on. And if he doesn't run, then I can't. How can you fault the great man? If he says, no, State Man's our runner, he'll win the champion, then I'm with him. Lossiemouth is special, no doubt about it. But State Man, if he's improved, he's got to make a mistake to lose for me.
Yeah, Lizzie, would you run Lossiemouth in this? Or?
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a mare as well, so she gets a £7 allowance, which you'd think against State Man would certainly help her out.
Lizzie, I'm going to stay with you. Who should the punters be looking at for value in this then?
Well, I've gone for something a little bit wild. I like Nameen Lyon as an each-way chance. Yeah, I do. I think he's actually better than his profile suggests.
It is water.
Is it?
It is water.
To be fair, he beat Colonel Mustard at Wincanton really nicely in the Kingwell. He's always giving away plenty of weight in his decent handicaps. I think he's running better than he looks like he's running. He was 5th in the Greatwood last November. That reads pretty well. He was 3rd in a Grade 1 in his novice year. He ran a career best last time. I think he's heading the right way. Yeah, it is a bit wild. I'll give you that. But you've got, if you want to try and State Man's going to win. So there's no point backing State Man. But you may as well try and find something for a bit of fun.
Yeah, right. Come on then, guys. Who's going to win it? Al, we'll start with you.
I've been saving up for a few months for Constitution Hill, and now if he doesn't run, and that's vital, if he runs, I'm still worried because he's 100%. So it's got to be State Man for me. I could have an each way bet. I understand what Lizzie's saying, but no, for me it's got to be State Man. It's got to be.
Oh, okay. What about yourself, Emmett?
Look, he should win if Constitution Hill is gone. If he's not there, then State Man's the most obvious one. But that means he's going to be very, very short. I think Irish Point's really interesting. He's a very good novice hurdler last season. He was beaten narrowly by Marine Nationale in the Royal Bond. He's bolted up at Aintree in a novice hurdle. Yeah, it was a Grade 1 over 3 miles the last day, but they went to crawl. He's a proper horse. If they go for the champion hurdle, they'll probably send Phil Dedery off to make a really strong gallop. That'll help his stamina. I think he's very interesting, particularly for the soft ground. Irish Point each way.
Lizzie, I think you made your thoughts clear earlier, but who do you think is going to win it?
State Man.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
Let's jump ahead to Friday in the big race of the festival, the Gold Cup. And Alan, you were there for last year's race. Can you see past the repeat win for Galopin des Champs?
I'd like to give you a big outsider, but I can't, because I think the Cheltenham Hill is, people don't realise how steep it is up that hill. He jumped the last. And the way he powered up there to win, pretty easy for me. I cannot see past Galopin des Champs. He's in great form. He'll take all the beating.
He is a very special horse. Lizzie and I are members of the Galopin des Champs fan club. She's the president because I got there late, as I tend to do. So I'm the VP. I did almost get thrown out because I went against him at Christmas time. I lost faith. He'd been beaten at Punchestown twice in the Punchestown Gold Cup and then in the John Durkin Memorial. Lizzie kept the faith, knew he'd bounce back, and that's a career best in the Savills Chase at Leopardstown at Christmas time. If he's able to replicate that in the Gold Cup, he will take all the beating. The one thing I'd say is he's the highest rated on RPR's Gold Cup winner since Cotto Star. Cotto Star was a brilliant horse, but he could never defend his Gold Cup crown.
Oh.
He's the only horse in history to regain a Gold Cup. No one except for him has done that. And in the 99-year history of the race, there's only been 8 multiple winners. It's a hard race to go back-to-back in. And this is a tougher race than last year. But if he is able to replicate that Christmas performance, they won't see which way he's gone.
And Nicky Henderson-Shishkin is the British hope. And you can never write him off, can you, Lizzie?
No, you can't. I think keeping the faith with him has been something that people have perhaps struggled with.
Oh, yeah.
But actually, he's not done a huge amount wrong, really, in his career. He's obviously slightly reinvented himself as a staying chaser now, 3 miles, 3 mile plus, and actually having unseated at the last in the King George. Like it was just so disappointing for him and Connections. He was in the process of running a really, really good race. He probably would have been bang there. I don't know if Hewitt would have got up to have caught him, but
He'd have won.
He probably would have won or finished second, having been caught on the line. I think his run at Newbury latest was, he wasn't beating the calibre of horses he's going to meet in the Gold Cup. And my concern with him is probably his running style. I think he always hits a flat spot now in his races. And when he's against lesser opposition, he's able to get back into the race by clinging onto their coattails. Like, that is not something that is easily done in a Gold Cup. It can be done, but it's not easily done. you miss a beat, it's hard work to get back into the race.
Got you.
So that's my concern with Shishkin.
Yeah. Do you like a bit of Shishkin, Alan?
I didn't, because if you go back to Kempton, I was on Brave Man's Game, and I really thought I had a big chance.
Yeah.
Then Shishkin goes, stumbles at the last, and it cost me the race, in my opinion, Brave Man's Game. But if you're looking for an outsider, if you're looking for someone to beat the favourite, he could put, as Lizzie says, he does make the odd mistake. He has flat spots. But if he goes round there and jumps well, he'll give the favourite a lot to do, I think. But I just feel, jumping 2 out, the favourite, if Gallopin's in anywhere near him, he'll pick him up, jump that last, up that steep running.
Emmett, can you tell us a little bit more about Fast or Slow?
Yeah, he's a really talented horse. He's trained by Martin Brazel, a very, very talented target trainer. When he sets his aim on a long-range target, he rarely misses. This horse has been to Cheltenham twice. He's run a massive race in the Coral Cup, just denied on the line, and then ran a massive race in the Ultima last year where he was giving weight to the defending champion of that race, Corrick Rambler, who went on to go and win the Grand National. That's serious form. And on the back of that, he's won 2 Grade 1s, beating Galopin Des Champs in both of them. The one this season was over a distance that wouldn't have suited, I don't think, because he won the Punchestown Gold Cup through real stamina and class. And that's going to be a big asset to him. I also think he's a brilliant jumper. He's a better jumper than Galopin Des Champs. I think these 2 horses have raced against each other 4 times. It's 2-all. There's an argument to be said that they've never been right when they faced one another. And I'd say Fast or Slow wasn't fully himself the other day as well, because he missed the Savills chase that Galopin Des Champs won so impressively. The ground was bad, and that can affect a horse. This will have put him spot on for Cheltenham, and he will not be far away. I think he's the real big danger.
You mentioned there Corrick Rambler. Where I stay at Cheltenham, Broadway, which is the most beautiful village in England. And all the punters there, Scottish and Irish, mainly Irish, drink and stay in a place called Russell's, next to the League and Arms.
Okay.
And there they were. Every year we meet them. We have a bit of a laugh. We have the crack with the sing-song. And when they won the Scottish Grand National, I was so happy for them.
And are there any outsiders that people should be looking at, Lizzie?
Yeah, there are. There are. It's a really deep, proper Gold Cup, and I think Brave Man's Game will be as primed as Paul Nicholls can get him. Where that puts him, I think if he was going to beat Galopin Des Champs, he'd have done it last year. Yeah. He had a way better race round than Galopin Des Champs did. Hewitt will stay on late. Shishkin will stay on late. So there's loads of cases you can make, but I'm struggling to make it because I just think Galopin Des Champs will win. I thought his performance last time against Fast or Slow, there was a moment at Leopardstown where you thought he's going to get beat, and he didn't. And then when you go back and you watch last year's Gold Cup, he had a horrible time of things. He was out the back, he didn't jump, he was a little bit keen, he did not jump. And it wasn't until the race started to develop and Paul Townend had to bring him wide to actually let him have a good sight of his fences that he was even in race mode. So I understand what you're saying about the fact that actually back-to-back Gold Cups is a very, very difficult thing to achieve.
Yeah.
It's a better Gold Cup this year, but actually I just don't see value in the race because I just don't think they're going to beat Galopin Des Champs.
Yeah, with all that being said then, come on Al, pick us the winner.
Well, I'd love to go Brave Man's Game. Fergie and the guys, they've had a great run of things lately on the flat as well, winning lots of money. Brave Man's Game, Paul Nicholls it's just that final hill, jumping 2 out, aiming to the last up the hill. I backed Wayward last twice to win a Gold Cup. He was the king around Kempton Park Boxing Day. And that, John O'Neill, the mare's getting up. And Don Run, the mare gets up to beat him. You've got to get up that hill. And I don't think Brave Man's Game will get up the hill, so it's got to be the favourite, Gallopin.
Oh, OK. Go on then, Emmett. Who are you picking?
I was all over Shishkin. Now, Nicky Henderson's stable form, I think, is very, very worrying. 6 horses have pulled up for him in the last 2 weeks. They were all short enough prices as well. I'm also just not entirely certain he'll really stay out the extra. Staying 3 miles at Kempton and the King George is one thing. 3 miles, 2.5 furlongs around Cheltenham on the new course. Don't know. Look, Fast or Slow. I think he's the value bet. Galopin Des Champs is absolutely the most likely winner. He is going to be the one that everyone has to beat. But Fast or slow is going to go very, very close.
Okay. And Lizzie?
Well, I'm president of the Galopin
So I've heard.
fan club, so it will be here, my hope.
I'm now thrown out of that fan club as well.
Now, on to Britain versus Ireland. The Brits haven't won the Presbyterian Cup since 2015. And Emmett, do we expect that barren run to continue?
Is that even still a thing, the Presbyterian Cup?
Oh, no.
Like, we just come over and we win everything. Like, it's
dear.
become, like, to be honest about it, like, being on talkSPORT 2, as obviously with the Irish accent, I mean, it's great for us. I used to watch Cheltenham back in the day when we'd be lucky to walk away with one winner. And now we are the dominant force there. It used to be Paul Nicholls. He used to win pretty much every big race.
Why is that?
Paul Nicholls was way ahead of Willie Mullins in 2009. And around that time, he won the Champion Chase, the Stayers Hurdle, 2 handicaps, the County Hurdle, the Novice Handicap Chase. He won the Gold Cup. He had the 2nd in that race. He had the 4th, he had the 5th, and he had the 13th finisher. Now Willie Mullins will have 5 times as many runners as him at Cheltenham this year, and that's what's changed it. It's Willie Mullins has built up this incredible dominance. It won't last forever, but it's there right now. And the big hope for Britain is now, if he does run, he's compromised Constitution Hill. So, look, Ireland are going to be the leading country. That's not even a competition anymore. We will train more winners, but where the big wins come for Britain is going to be the big question. Handicaps, the Ultima, the Coral Cup. I'm not being facetious, and I'm not trying to come in here and be like, yeah, we're just going to crush and win everything.
Well, I don't know, Emmett.
We have an awful lot of firepower, and it's just not there in Britain.
Lizzie, do you agree with Emmett then? Just no hope?
I've got a white flag for you here if you want.
Yeah, we're struggling, aren't we? I think that you can't really make a massive case for any more than potentially 3 British trained winners, maybe 4. So yeah, I don't think we'll worry about the Presbyterian Cup this year.
If it's not racing, it's rugby. And don't blame Brexit. Ireland will hammer us. It's as simple as that.
Now, we all know that a tremendous amount of care goes into looking after a racehorse, but to really understand how much, well, we've sent Neil Razor Ruddock to one of the biggest and best yards in the country.
Wow. 7 a.m, 3 degrees. I'm freezing. And here I am in the heart of the National Hunt racing country, Lambourne, at one of the greatest stables there are, Warren Greatrex Stables. And Ollie here is going to teach me what you have to do to get a racehorse ready for Cheltenham. We having a bit of breakfast first, though, mate?
We've only just started, Razor. Got to muck one out, put one on the treadmill, get one swung. Come on, let's do it.
What? Tell me a day in the life of a racehorse.
So they all go up on the gallops,
Yep.
learning how to jump,
Yep.
getting fitter over distances up to a mile.
Yep.
Then they'll come back in,
Yep.
swim.
You take them for a swim.
Absolutely, yeah. We've got a water treadmill and spire, so they'll go on that.
So they go for a jog in the morning,
Yep,
they go for a swim,
yep,
and then they go to the spa.
exactly.
Do they get fed?
They do.
Any chance of us getting fed? Any chance of breakfast?
Not yet, Razor, no.
What?
I've got a job with your name written all over it.
Oh, brilliant. Come on then. That sounds nice. Oh, no, it's not what I think. Did this horse have a curry last night?
Right, Razor, I'm going to have a cup of tea. Be back in 10 minutes.
There you go, boss. Cleans the whistle.
Well done.
Breakfast?
No, we've got one for the treadmill now.
Treadmill. So what are the benefits?
After a race and during exercise, it helps take any soreness in any of the limbs
Yeah.
out, because this water is about 3 degrees.
Unbelievable.
So it helps any inflammation of the legs.
Good boy, Westy. Right, so now what I'm thinking is hash brown, double bacon, double sausage, eggs, beans and mushrooms. Yeah?
Not just yet.
Why?
We've got a swimmer.
I have never seen anything like it. So what's the idea from this?
Any horse which gets any little problem, you know, they can come in here, swim and help maintain fitness.
It looks like he's enjoying it.
He loves it, yeah?
Good boy. Come on then. Let me have a go. Oh. Come on, son. Not far. Come on. One more. Come on. Get there. Going in now. Come on, boy. There you go. Cool. Oh. That's the hardest I've worked for years. Must be time for breakfast. No? What are we going to do now? Suntan? We're going under the sunbed or something now? We're here with magnificent Warren Greatrex. So Warren, thanks for having me, my old mate. How exciting for a trainer is it pre-Cheltenham?
Yeah, look, Cheltenham to us is everything. It's like our Olympics, and it seems to be getting bigger and bigger every year. Obviously, leading up to it, it's more nerve-wracking than anything. You've got the excitement to get there, but horses, it only takes one day, a misstep, a cough, or anything like that. And
how many runners you got at Cheltenham?
got a couple. This lad here, Bill Baxter.
My favourite horse.
He won the Topham over the national fences last year, so he'll have a run at Cheltenham before going there.
And he's a poser as well, isn't he?
And a new horse called Mighty Bandit that will run in the Triumph.
Yeah. Warren, thanks for having me. You got to sort the breakfast out over here, mate. It's no breakfast, no food. No wonder jockeys are small. Well, mate, thanks a lot. I've had a brilliant day. Thanks to Warren. Thanks to Ollie. Thanks to everyone here. Especially you, my new favourite horse. Big Bill. Come on, Bill. Let's go and get some breakfast. What are you doing tonight, Bill? Fancy a couple of pints?
Come on, fair play to Razor there. What do you think, Lizzie? Do you think he has a chance at being a full-time stable hand?
Well, yeah, I mean, they'll take anyone they can get at the moment.
What do you think, Carl?
There's not a chance. Razor's made for the flat to shove the horses, the babies in the stalls. That's it.
Now, let's turn our attention to the other two championship races of the festival. And Wednesday, it's the Queen Mother Champion Chase. And Emmett, we've seen some movement in the odds following Cheltenham Trials Day, haven't we?
Yeah, very much so. John Bon was the big threat to El Fabiolo, and that bubble very much burst with a pretty horrendous round of jumping around Cheltenham on Trials Day. That race was supposed to take place at Ascot. Nicky Henderson blamed that. It was a week later. He said he was a little bit rusty because he would have been fired up for the race the week before, which is a fairly valid excuse. But what's not a good excuse is making a horrendous mistake 4 out. Now, he did something I've never seen. He made a race-ending blunder and then looked like he was going to win coming to the last. Like, he had that race wrapped up and then throws in another bad one at the last, throws it away. I can't. That's a massive stain against him. It really is. To lose to Elixir de Nuts, great story. Fantastic story for the trainer, Joe Tizard. Great for the young jockey, Freddie Gingell. Grade 1 win for both of them. First ones to get as well. That's tremendous. Shouldn't be. He should not be beating John Bon. And Patrick Mullins gave an interview only a couple of weeks ago where he was asked about who's the greatest horse you've ever ridden. And he instantly said Dovan. And he could have left it at that because he's very media savvy. He knows people are going to be listening to what he says. And he elaborated and said the reason that horse never made it in open company is because in hindsight his pedigree didn't hold up. He's John Bon's full brother. Wow. And you're going to war against him. So that's a signal of intent, I think. He also did a schooling session and people were raving about it on Twitter the other day. I did not like the way he was shaping. I did not like the way he was jumping. And I'd be amazed if he could beat El Fabiolo.
Oh, Lizzie, how much do you read into Elixir de Nuts' win over John Bon? Could he pull off an upset?
No, but I do think that the horse has improved, which is quite a big thing to say. He's actually 10 years old now. I think that Freddie Gingell, who is clearly a very good £7 claimer, has actually really improved this horse. The one I would be interested in is actually Edwardstone. We saw a change of tactics with him. He's a horse who has often been pretty keen in the past. A couple of things went wrong last season. He had a bit of a quiet season and it was kind of shaping like it was going to be that way again this year until they went to Newbury a couple of weeks ago and they bowled along in front. Edwardstone absolutely loved it. Now I'd be really interested in him doing that at Cheltenham. Now, whether Tom Cannon, his jockey, is going to be allowed to do that is another question. Maybe there'll be something in there. There's a few in there that love to go forward because champion chase horses are a little bit tapped. So there'll be plenty of them that want to go on. Maybe if Edwardstone sits in that group, like chasing them rather than holding up at the back, we might see him to better effect. But I think it's going to take a big step up from one of these horses to beat El Fabiolo.
Yeah, and El Fabiolo is a hot favourite. You can't really see past him, can you, Alan?
No, but Lizzie mentions Edwardstone. Edwardstone's a little village near where I live in Suffolk.
Okay.
And the owners come in my local pub. So for that, I'd love to see them win it. But a good friend of mine is Simon Minier, who owns the favourite. El Fabiolo, who lives in Monaco now, he's a member of the Diamond Club at Arsenal. And he put so much money into the game, I'd love to see them win it.
Okay. And Lizzie, where's the value for the punters in this one then?
Well, I think Edwardstone's value.
Yeah.
I think anywhere outside of El Fabiolo will be value. I think there'll be horses in there that will be able to pick up a place. And, you know, one of them could be Editor de Gite, who actually beat Edwardstone and Energumene at the trials meeting at a rescheduled Clarence House at Cheltenham. You know, he could well run a big race. There'll be plenty in there, but I would go for Edwardstone as your value bet, yeah. OK, and we're here again. Go on, Al, pick me a winner.
It's got to be El Fabiolo.
Yeah. Yep. Emmett?
There is only one question. How far does El Fabiolo win by?
Whoa, there we go.
Whoa.
Lay down the gauntlet. What about yourself, Lizzie?
Yeah, no, I like El Fabiolo. I've been disappointed with how John Pon has actually jumped in his chasing career, or like full stop. So yeah, I'll stick with El Fabiolo.
Okay. Now, onto the Stayers Hurdle on Thursday. And Emmett, the favourite for this one was Cheltenham. He's a non-runner, and you're a big fan of Tiapu, who is now heading the betting, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of this horse for Gordon Elliott. I think he was very unlucky in this race last year. Davy Russell was a brilliant jockey. That was not his finest hour. It really wasn't. And he was a little bit unlucky, to be fair, with the way things went with Dashel Drasher towards the end. Not to the extent that he would have won, but people are holding that against him. They're viewing that, he couldn't win the race last year. How could he possibly win it now? Well, the winner, Sire de Burley, went on to win the Grade 1 at Aintree. Dashel Drasher has come out this year, who was second, then placed third, then back to second again, BHA. He's come out and won the long-distance hurdle. That form's holding up. And he himself has come out and absolutely crushed Impere Pass in the Hatton's Grace at the start of the season. And that's going to be a key thing to him, because last year they gave him a prep run at Goran Park, my local track, to get him ready for it, and it was a mistake. Gordon Elliott rarely makes mistakes, and he's not making it this year. They're going fresh. He's raced 8 times on the back of a break of 50 days or more, and he's won every single start. He will stay. Ooh. His jumping needs to brush up a little bit. That's the one thing I'd hold against him. But if he gets the soft ground, he is pretty much a certainty in my mind. I think he's one of the best leading contenders of the entire festival. I can't wait to see him in action.
Wow.
And by the way, just for those who are saying, he couldn't win it last year, Iris's Gift was beaten in this race as a 6-year-old, came out and won it a year later. Brave Inca was beaten on his first attempt at the Champion Hurdle, came out, won it a year later. Native River and Aplutard, both beaten on their first goes of the Gold Cup, they come out and win it a year later. Just because you were beaten once in a championship race doesn't mean you can't come out and win it again. He's stronger, he's more mature, mentally stronger as well. He's a cracking bet.
Oh, yes. Emmett came with receipts there. Absolutely love that. And Lizzie, I've got to ask you, why is last year's winner so long in the betting?
Well, he's actually slightly shorter than he was last year.
OK.
But I suppose you just slightly think, surely this horse at this age, Sire de Burley, can't come back and do it again. Yeah, he's sort of one of the really old boys now. But what's really interesting in the Stayers Hurdle is that it doesn't seem like age doesn't seem to be a factor into whether the form lines actually hold up. But I have gone for a younger horse. I've gone for Crambo. He's a 7-year-old now. He actually beat Dashel Drasher and Paisley Park in his first go at a Grade 1 level over 3 miles.
Is that Gary Mills, Crambo, or not?
No, so that's Fergal O'Brien's.
Right. I'm winning.
Gary Moore's is Botok Ha,
right,
who's also won a couple of trials, but probably wants it to be really soft, I'd
nice
say.
pronunciation there, by the way.
That's what they say. It's a silly name, isn't it? Botox Ha.
Shocking name, but
I think
everybody goes, Botox has, and it's not. It's not.
No. But anyway, it's a dreadful name either way. But
and he's
there
no
we
chance.
are. And I don't think... I really like Dashel Drasher and Paisley Park, and I think it's actually kudos to their trainers that they are able to keep these horses maintaining their form in all of the trial races leading up. The form kind of flip-flops. Crambo is a kind of new form line in this race, and I like him. I just don't like Tiahupu. I just don't like his name.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I must have pronounced that wrong then if you're saying it like that as well. So,
I just
no
don't like
one
his
knows,
name.
Ryan.
No one knows. That's the beauty of it.
Tiahupu. If he gets beaten, the wording will be changed around on Twitter. You can be absolutely certain.
I can see the headlines now.
Oh, dear.
Alan, I know you've got a soft spot for Noble Yates, don't you?
Well, they backed him big last time, and I thought, what? Come back in distance and won very well. So he definitely, I think it's one of these races I'm not sure about, but Noble Yates, I think I'd have a little each way. I definitely have a bet, but not a big bet, just a little.
Okay, just a little bit.
He's a very interesting horse to mention, though, because it's extraordinary. Cleve Hurdle winners can win Grand Nationals. Grand National winners don't win Cleve Hurdles. So he will stay.
And there was big money as well, Emma, was
Oh, massively,
big money for
massively
him.
so. It's a great training performance from Mullins, but like he's the most solid each way player in the race because you can't knock him out of the frame with a mallet. It's a good pick.
And the quicker they go, the better for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stay on up the hill as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Lizzie, there's plenty of value in here for punters as well, isn't there?
Yeah, tons and tons of value. The value bet is Dash or Drasher each way. It is. It is. That is the
He's checking again.
That is the value bet.
You've lost
he
your
was
mind.
second in it last year.
He's 24 years of age
you
now.
You cannot say
kicking
that
off.
Tia Hoopu has got like amazing chance and it should be the favourite, and then not say that Dash or Drasher should be your each way punt.
But then Sarah de Bolle is the one to win.
Actually, yes, quite, yes, exactly, yes. What,
Are we
yes.
fighting? Is this a fight?
Exactly. Yes, everyone should be backing the two horses that.
Can I have some of that water that Lizzie's got,
I was
please?
just going to say, Al, who's right and wrong here? Go on, I'm throwing you right under the bus.
Well, she's got the hump at the moment, so I am not. Like, listen, I've seen her on the finish, bang, bang, bang. I don't want one of them around my ear, so I'm with you, Lizzie.
Yeah, let's break them up then. Al, who are you picking for a winner?
I've got to go each way, Noble Yates.
Okay, Noble Yates. Emmett.
Tia Hoopu, Jack Kennedy, easily.
Easily. Okay, Lizzie.
Well,
Dashel.
I think I've almost made a case for every single horse in the race. But yeah, I would definitely be backing Dash or Drasher each way, and I would certainly be having a bit of money on Crambo.
Now, just before we wrap up, I need to get everyone's nap of the festival, and it's away from the championship races as well, guys. Alan, let's start with you.
Oh, Gino. So Gino, I think, in the Triumph, as long as Nicky's horses are fine, I was very, very impressed. Twice he's ran. I've watched them and I thought, wow, that's my Cheltenham bet.
Yeah.
So as long as Nicky's horses are good, I've got to go Sir Gino. Ballyburn, we'll hear more of that, but Sir Gino for me is my nap.
Sir Gino, thoughts on that, Lizzie, by the way?
Yeah, I'd just be concerned about Nicky Henderson's form at the moment. But obviously, there is time for the horses to pick up and the results to pick up. The problem we've got is that is the issue with his runners at the moment, really.
Jumped like a crab on his debut, but jumped immaculately the next day and won a recognised trial for this too. He'll take an awful lot of beating.
Yeah, very impressive.
Okay, Emmett, let's get your nap of the festival then.
Right, there's a Mullins-trained, JP McManus-owned novice chaser who's got really good form from Cheltenham last year, but it's not Factifile, who's going to be a very short price. It's Corbett's Cross in the National on Chase. Now, he was brought down the last day, but it's not his fault. He got taken out by a horse who made a mistake in front of him. Very unlucky. There's a narrative out there that his jumping isn't holding up. Emmett Mullins strongly denies that, and so does Paige Fuller's race IQ data. He's actually one of the best novice chasers jumping fences. He's gaining ground at almost every fence he's jumping. I think he's in a completely different league to this lot. The favourite for the race is Embassy Gardens. He pulled up in the potato race, the Albert Bartlett last year. He was right there at the finish until he did something very bizarre. He ran out, but he would have pushed Stay Away Faye all the way. He's a class act. He's got the best form in that race too, a second to Grange Clare West in the Grade 1 Neville's Hotel Novice Chase. He is an absolute good thing.
I tell you what, Emmett, you're very positive, aren't you? I'm going to back.
You've got to be
back
positive.
your horses and winning by so many lengths.
Yeah.
This is a good thing. This is a good thing. This wins easy.
If on talkSPORT Alan has no shirt, then it might very well be my fault. But if you're living it up, I want to be taken with you to Barbados.
I'm with you. I'm going for it.
I do think that Paul Nicholls' team have been unbelievably bullish about Stay Away Faye.
Yeah.
And I think perhaps that might be one of my sort of 3 or 4 GB trained winners in the Prestbury Cup. So, yeah, I know what you mean about Corbett's Cross. There's plenty to like about him and seems to be flying under the radar at the moment.
Yeah, come on then, Lizzie. Let's get your nap of the festival as well.
So I've actually gone for Protectorate in the RyanAir. He spent a season, maybe even a season and a half, being campaigned over 3 miles. He's given it a go in 2 Gold Cups. He's won a Betfair Chase. He won a Betfair Chase really well the year that he won it. Dropping back to 2.5, I think, should really suit him. He won over 2.5 at the Aintree Festival at Grade 1 level in his novice year. In last year's Gold Cup, he pulled like an absolute train. Like it's no wonder he didn't really get home, but he was actually still placed. I think he might have finished 5th. And to pull like a train in a Gold Cup and still manage to be in the minor placings is pretty impressive. I think when he's on song, he's really good. The problem is he hasn't been on song this year for me, but I think he's getting there. I think we are seeing a slight improvement in his results this season, and I'd say the stable actually they're pretty happy with him. I think it'll just be great to see him allowed to be let loose at Grade 1 pace over 2.5.
I would have had a doubt about him around Cheltenham, but he ran an absolute blinder off top weight behind Broadway Boy in a handicap.
Yeah.
And that was the first sign that he was coming back. And then he ran another big race against L'Homme Presse, which he really had no chance against him. He's just a better horse. And he had no chance against Shishkin the other day. That's a bad RyanAir. And it's an even worse RyanAir. If that race was run tomorrow, there's no way the favourite runs because the ground won't suit Banbridge. And if he comes out, he will take the beating, Protectorate.
Right, that's everything you need to know.
No, Ryan, one quick one. Please.
Yeah, go on.
One quick one.
Absolutely.
Talking about JP McManus, right?
Yeah.
So last year before, it flies. JP, I'm up at Jackdaw's, John Joe Neal's yard, and I hardly know John Joe. But he said, I hardly know JP. And we're at John Joe's yard, and he says, all right, Mr. Brazil, good morning. He owns the yard. And I said, hi, Mr. McManus. He says, no, call me JP. You backing your horse today? I went, excuse me? Am I backing my horse? What do you mean? He says, Brazil. He'll just about win. He'll just about win. I went, really? And he winks, and off he goes. I'm like, what am I meant to do? So I go to the track, I tell people on talkSPORT, he only wins 14-1 a short head. Get in, JP.
Not a word to us,
Come on, Corbett.
No WhatsApp, no text.
Took me 4 hours to get out of Cheltenham. People are diving on me.
And I believe you're back up at John Joe's as well this year.
We are on the Monday before Cheltenham. Cannot wait. Snows Hill, Jackdaw's Castle. Gorgeous place.
Get in there, love it. Right, that is everything you need to know and more going into this year's festival. Thanks to Alan, thanks to Emmett, thanks to Lizzie, and thank you guys for watching the Cheltenham preview with talkSPORT and talkSPORT Bet. To find all the panel selections for Cheltenham, as well as boosts and offers for the festival, head to talkSPORT Bet and enjoy the festival.